I request Dr. R. Ravi.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to meet you again. Motivated us to do more.
I request the following dignitaries to take the seat on the dais: Dr. R. Ravi, Dr. M.S. Ashraf, Dr. K. R. Palaniswamy, Dr. L. Venkatakrishnan, Dr. J. Ubal Das, Dr. Govinda Makaria, Dr. Matthew Philip, and Dr. S.N.K. Chenduran. I kindly request you all to raise for the Tamil Thai Valthu. Please be seated. I welcome Dr. S.N.K. Chendurian to deliver the welcome address.
A very good evening, all. On behalf of the organizing committee, I welcome our chief guest, Dr. Ashraf sir, who's a past national vice president and a BC Roy awardee. I welcome our very own patron, Dr. K.R. Palanisamy sir. I welcome Dr. L.B. Venkatakrishnan sir, the TNISG president. I welcome Dr. J. Ubaldar sir, TNISG secretary. I welcome Dr. Govind Makaria sir, the president-elect, National ISG, and Dr. Matthew Phillips sir, the secretary general, National ISG. I also would like to extend a warm welcome to everyone present here. I thank each and every one of you for being here with us today. Erudition is not a destination but a journey. Our team takes immense pleasure in aiding you in this journey. Before we get started, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to all of you who generously helped us make this event come together to become a success. Heroes come and go, but legends are forever. I would like to thank our legends, that is you, our faculty, our professors, delegates, and our dear PGs. We couldn't have done it without you. We earn for an annual event to be an opportunity to engage with our colleagues while obtaining pragmatic insights into the realms of gastroenterology, hepatology, and interventional gastroenterology, which are all more consistent with our theme of this year being upskill and upgrade in the practice of gastroenterology. So we envisage creating an academic atmosphere with ebullience. I welcome once again to TNISG 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Ravi to honor Dr. M.S. Ashraf. Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Chandurian to honor Dr. K.R. Palaniswamy. And Dr. L. Venkatakrishnan. And Dr. J. Ubaldas. Dr. Govind Makaria, and Dr. Matthew Phillip. Thank you, sir. We now move to the lighting the lamp. I request the dignitaries on the stage to light the lamp. I request Dr. L. Venkata Krishnan to deliver the President address.
Good evening, respected dignitaries on the stage, Professor Ashraf, the chief guest of the day, Dr. Govind Makaria and Dr. Matthew Phillip, Dr. KRP, colleagues and senior faculty members. I think it is indeed a privilege for me to stand and give a short presidential address on the inauguration ceremony. I'm extremely happy that Dr. Ravi and Dr. Chenduran have really organized an excellent academic program with all its logistics. Equally, it is very significant, and we are very happy that Dr. Govind Makaria, who is the President-elect, and Dr. Matthew Phillip, the Secretary General of the ISG, has been able to attend our meeting and contributed to this meeting. And especially Dr. Govind has been very gracious to attend almost from 2020, you have almost attended all the meetings here. It was very good to see some of the good academic presentations done by some of our youngsters, and Dr. Chandruran's team has organized an exceptional endoscopic workshop, and my congratulations to you for having done that. The academic program has been a mix of very experienced speakers and contributions by senior faculty like Professor Ashok Chako and the youngsters who are really coming up. And I think I should have been privileged to be the president of Tamil Nadu ISG, which has got a great lineage, has been here for a long time. And I thank everyone for giving me the opportunity to be the president for this year. And equally happy that Epan has taken over as the president of this year. And it has been a great to work in this organization where we have come out with pretty good studies, and 2 more studies on alcohol, liver disease and chronic pancreatitis will be finalized soon in this organization. Once again, I thank you all for having attended this meeting, and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I welcome Dr. J. Ubeldas to deliver the Secretary address.
Good evening, all the dignitaries in the dais and friends. And it is indeed an honor to conduct this kind of meetings. Each year when we conduct a meeting, we think that this is the best meeting, but each year the standard of meeting and the expanse we are doing it is keep on rising. And it is no doubt that this is one of the best meeting of TNISG of recent times. Again, thanks to Professor Dr. Ravi and Dr. Chenduran, but whenever we have a meeting and start conversing anything, and they never hesitate to say no. And in fact, initially we think that all the conferences, this is the first conference we are continuing without Professor Bala, because Professor Bala is our backbone for any meetings, and in spite of his absence, and if we are able to conduct a successful meeting, I have to thank Dr. Ravi and his team, and successfully organizing and conducting this kind of atmosphere and hotels, and again the kind of scientific content and the kind of speakers we have, that is going to be one of the wonderful meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I welcome Dr. Govind Makaria, President-elect ISG, to say a few words.
Very good evening, everyone. First of all, many congratulations to all those people who have been elected as for ISG TN chapter. First, I wanted 2 small things. First, that I had honored to be Secretary of ISG. I think this was a very coveted post. And over the last 5 years, including COVID time, I had chance to interact with a lot of colleague gastroenterologists around the country. And I noticed that each gastroenterologist is fantastic. Each one. You interact with anyone, each one is fantastic. And our fraternity of gastroenterology in our country is super. That's the first thing I want to clap for all of those. And coming to our this chapter is to me is an inspiration in terms of organization, in terms of care, in terms of training, and in terms of taking lead, having your own journal, having your own society which is so transparent, having conducting multi-center studies, and studies which are resulting into patient care. You don't only studies being published, but they're translating into patient care, and also the government supporting your research. I think this is exemplary. I don't think we have received as a country that some societies say do this, and government has done that. But that's very commendable that a local problem of rodent poison, study done, method found, and method implemented is a true success story. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, sir. I welcome Dr. Matthew Phillip, Secretary General, ISG, to say a few words.
Good evening. First of all, I would like to thank Tamil Nadu chapter for inviting me, and all of you electing me as the Secretary General of ISG, which put me into a tremendous pressure because it has been done by people like Govind Makaria, who has actually put the bar much higher. So it's not an easy task to do, but there is scope for work for everyone to come. Sorry. And I think a chapter like Tamil Nadu chapter, I was really impressed by I have already been attending your conference very frequently. I've been reading your journal. And but I was impressed by what we were trying for quite some time in Indian society was to create advocacy, create guidelines to make impact in the patient care. But you have actually led our Indian Society of Hepatology, or INSL has done something. And I agree to Govind that this is actually a lead which should be taken by other national societies. Because we have been working on that. In fact, during my tenure, I really thought that we should take up things to the society. Society should take up social issues or health issues to government level. Because we know that there are so many things which can be, we know that hepatitis C is actually being supported by India government, and it is almost getting eradicated because of different types of work happening there. And at least in certain areas, it was quite rampant. And Wilson disease, there is some support from government now. But I think, we should take up issues like IBD. So many there are things which actually... And as a society, we also should do certain other things, public awareness, for example, certain issues like alcoholic liver disease or whatever it is, IBD, and rodenticide is one thing which actually came into a big thing in your state. I think, that is also our duty, that not only we educate our doctors, but also we have a commitment to the society by taking up social issues, social health issues rather, and make aware them that such things will happen. So I recommend you to take up at least in a year 2 or 3 meetings for the public, where you take up issues where they can be handled. We can actually distribute to different parts of your state. And every year I am doing an IBD awareness meeting for the public for last so many years. And many times 200, 300, even 400 people come. Only during COVID also I continued that by online media, Zoom media. But I think that is quite important to make aware that some symptoms, if they get, they should immediately report to doctors. And they should be taken to the government level also. And I really appreciate, and as a Secretary General, I bring in greetings and to this August audience as well. Also, I want to congratulate and thank you for giving us ideas where the society can do something on that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I welcome Dr. K.R. Palaniswamy to deliver the patron address.
dignitaries on the dais and friends. I'm very happy to be here for the inaugural function. I would like to congratulate the organizing team led by Dr. Ravi and Chanduran for the excellent work and excellent organization. I think yesterday they had this hands-on training. There was a very great success. Today, I think probably, like everybody mentioned, all the aspects of the meeting, like the case-based discussions and everything went on very well. So I would like to once again, thank the organizers for all the arrangements. And such meetings held in the district headquarters, not only it helps the gastroenterologists and also the local doctors, local general physicians, surgeons. Of course, I don't know, they must be attending in large numbers here. So they get updated and they get the updated knowledge. That's also very important. So I would like to wish the rest of the proceedings a great success tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I cordially welcome Dr. M.S. Ashraf to deliver the chief guest address.
Most respected dignitaries on the dais, beloved delegates, learned faculties, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank Dr. Chanduran and Dr. Ravi for personally inviting me and giving me this wonderful opportunity to inaugurate this conference, to address the learned faculty here. I never knew that gastroenterologists are man of few words. We all started within 10 minutes, most of them have already spoken. So you're all man of action. And I recollect the days when I spent with Dr. K.R. Palnichami and a Professor A.M. Selvaraj unit. And I have a very known person, but she may not know me, Dr. Jayanti. She was probably in K.V. Thiruvengadam's unit, I'm not sure. I was in Professor A.M. Selvaraj unit, Dr. Dante unit. And the last conference in 2016, I still remember my friend Dr. Bala. He was sitting in a wheelchair here. He hugged me and he wanted me to take a photo of him with me. And today he's not with us. Very dynamic fighter and a good organizer. Let us all pray for his soul to rest in peace. Dear ladies and gentlemen, we have come a long way. My journey, why my journey, our journey in the field of medicine? I started my practice only in 80s. But 75, I finished my MBBS, and till 78 I was in Madras Medical College doing my post-graduation. Then 79 I joined Tanjavur Medical College as Assistant Professor of Medicine. Why I am telling you this is, that time a lot of sea changes have taken place in medication. The drugs which were used for diabetes, hypertension, acid peptic disease, I'm sure that none of these drugs are not available here. Especially for hypertension, the only drug which is still remaining is alpha-methyl dopa, which is sparingly used. For diabetes, still the queen of medicine, Dr. Metformin, is still there. But acid peptic disease, I'm sure it is involved with a lot of changes. 79, I had a severe gastric problem. So at that time, I wanted to undergo scopy. Someone advised me to undergo scopy. You wouldn't believe, there was only one scopy available in entire Tamil Nadu. It was available in Railway Hospital. Dr. Krishna Rao did the scopy in 79 July. And he told me, you have reflexive esophagitis. So that was the 1979, when no medical colleges had scopy. Ultrasound was not an instrument known to anyone. There was no CT, no MRI. So you can understand the changes which have taken in medication, the changes which have taken in investigation, the modalities. Even Trichy now has got a PET scan, at least 10 MRIs and 20 CT scans. So these are changes which have taken place. But unfortunately, with these changes have also come a lot of problems, suspicious, doctor-patient relationship. Why this has happened, we really don't know, but some may blame the corporate hospitals. I wouldn't say that. 1984, the first corporate hospital came in Greaves Road, Apollo. Corporate hospitals have done a lot of good for the country. Like say, those days I had a very close family friend. He was a chief justice. He had to go to USA for a bypass. He had to travel with his wife, son, 3 people going to use, coming back. He was poorer by 25 lakhs. So that was the time at somewhere around the 80s or 90s. Now, bypass surgery or a renal transplant or whatever thing you want, it is available in our country. You need not go anywhere. In fact, countries nearer to India, even from European countries, they have started coming to India for treatment. So I think that is a big advantage which corporate hospitals have brought in. They have brought the state-of-the-art, the drug which is available in USA, next day it is available here. The equipment which is there, we get it here. But I did write an article in Hindu long back, what ails the medical profession? What ails the medical profession? I said 3 things have taken a beating. 1, accessibility, affordability, and amiability. All these things, probably in the 50s and 60s, a family physician, you can easily reach him. You can walk into his clinic. You can talk to him. And the best of treatment was also affordable to him. And he was always sympathetic. All these are still there, but it has become a little difficult for the rural person to reach the doctor. And you know, in our country, 70% of the population are still living in the rural areas, but 70% of the best treatment are available in the cities. So, when a villager comes to Trichy and he wants to reach a doctor, he has to pass through reception, where the receptionist has a fluent English in the tip of her tongue, which that man may not understand. He may not be able to reach the doctor. So in spite of corporate hospital, which is really good, we can still think of these 3 things, the 3 A's. You can be accessible. If you are not accessible, we can ask our assistant to attend the calls, or even an intern. If the patient was undergone a bypass surgery, after 5 days he calls you, and if you are not accessible, he gets irritated. So an assistant or an intern, I think he can probably assist them. And if you can address these 3 A's, I'm sure this doctor-patient relationship will not be a problem, and the litigation will also come down. I do not know if any one of you read this medical jousting, Jousting. Did anyone of you hear that? Medical jousting, Jousting. There's an article. The heading of the article is, think well before you speak to the patient or to the attender. This medical jousting, this jousting is a historical term for 2 people fighting on the horseback with the lances, with a spear or whatever. Same thing, they are bringing it to the 2 doctors who are practicing in a city. When you drop a word, why did they do this surgery? Why did they give this medicine? There sparks the controversy. The patient's attendance, because I am in IMA for the past 35 years. We are running a scheme. I'm sorry to say this, most of the litigations, if you go into the history of the litigation, you will find there is a colleague behind this. He may have not told it wantingly. It must have been an innocuous comment. But you have to be careful. If you could avoid this medical jousting, which is now becoming very, very common and which is the commonest problem for the litigations. You know, the litigations and medical association, as probably now we have the PPLS scheme. If you are aware, the scheme is looking after the litigations. And if you go and do a research, most of the problems are faced by the gynecologists, surgeons, very rarely by the physicians. Of course, it is there. So this is the probable problem we have to face. And I think if you could address this affordability, accessibility, and amiability, I'm sure you'll be able to overcome all this and bring back the glory to the medical profession, which is still there. You are still proud. Then I want to go back. Most I am past 70, and I have my friend K.R. Palnichami here, all of you. I read an article by Shashi Tharoor. He was celebrating his mother's birthday, 83rd birthday. At that time, he was talking and he written an article, and he was also giving an interview where he says, believe me, it is not his words, it is from the New England Journal, 2013. The best part of a productive part of a man is not 20s or 30s or 40s. The best productive age is between 60 and 70. Second productive age is 70 to 80. And third is 50 to 60. So why I am telling you this is when a patient comes to me, he retires from a BHL or something, I tell him, after retirement at the age of 60, start doing something else. Use your whatever you have learned expertise for some other. Because once you sit at home, you develop all the problems. So this 70 to 80 or 60 to 70, we are still practicing. So this, you know why he says this? 70 to 80 and 60 to 70. He says the average age of a Pope, Vatican, is 74 years. Average age of a Nobel Prize winner is 65 years or more than that. And a CEO is about 60 years. So why do you think 30 and 40? Because he says 30 to 40 you spend your time in romance and wooing your wife, satisfying your wife in all her household chores, bringing up the children. At the age of 70, you are retired. You don't have any problem. Even the children don't care for you. So that's the time you should spend your life more productively. And that is true. Between 30 and 40 and 45, I was worried about my children's education. I was worried about what my wife will demand from me. All that is not there. At the age of 70, after 70, when he called me to this, I didn't hesitate. I said, it's iftar. But still, he said, I'll have it at 7 o'clock. Ravi was so kind to me. He said, you can come after iftar. I came. So, after 70, I've decided to work more. So, that is what I wanted to stress here, because I wouldn't ask you to put your hands, all those people who are above 60, and think 50% of you would be more than 60. The next point, which I would like to say is, see here, one Nobel Prize winner who got a lithium battery, for the lithium battery, he was 97 years. His name was Mr. Goodenough. And what he said in his, what do you think? Why, how could you get this Nobel Prize at the age of 97? He asked him, after retirement, you want me to wait for my death? After retirement, I must do something else. Death will probably inevitable, will come some other time. So that is what his words were. Then, I fully endorse our Secretary Matthew Phillips' statement that every organization, whether it is API or Cardiological Society, any organization should have a social arm. Unless you do something for the well-being of the public, you can probably bring awareness about fast food. As a gastroenterologist, you can always bring awareness among the public about fast food, fried food, preserved food, taking food on time. The big two issues today are only the fast food, fried food, and in Tamil Nadu, we are now topping intake of alcohol. During my days, in school days and college days, we never had alcohol, we never had a bar at all. So I think that you can address. You can address so many other problems, take it to the public, then this organization will definitely become, will be recognized. So I said, IMA, because of the social work, APA, any organization, please have a social arm, then you will be reaching the public. So exactly 3 years back, somewhere around March 23rd, 25th, 2020, I think, yeah, Corona. No one knew. I never knew a word as lockdown. 2020, I could play football in my hospital, my house, and Ravi's is center of Trichy, exact traffic signal. So no one in the road, no trains, no planes, we never saw it at all. Such a lockdown, and it taught us a lesson. I'll tell you an example. I had a couple, they were in 70s. One son was in Australia and a daughter was in US. They were living alone. The wife developed corona and she was isolated. Those days when one corona case was seen, entire road was blocked. They said it was isolation. You had a barricade. They stuck a poster in front of the house. So and so has got corona. So even the milkman, no one wanted to go and see that elderly man who was alone. There was no one to cook for him. Whatever money he had, he realized it was useless. So corona taught us a lesson exactly 3 years back. I used to think, I tell my children, my grandfather would have probably seen First World War. My father would have seen Second World War. We had only one corona to experience, and that is what we all saw, and we knew what corona is, how can it impact India. This is a season of education, the exams. My grandson is writing his exam. All the people are stressed up. So in a lighter vein, I'll just tell you, you are so stressed up about children getting into medicine or IIT or IIM. But if you realize, in this country, most first-class students who study very, very hard, what do they get into? MBBS? They get into IIT. Okay? The second-class pass, who probably do a BA or MA and get IAS or MBA, they become administrative officers and they control the first class. Today, my dean is answerable to the collector, who is only 35 years. My dean is almost going to retire. So you just think every district, the top doctor is reporting to the collector, who is an IAS. So the first class is reporting to the second class. And who is a third class? He is a BA, either pass or fail. He enters politics and becomes a minister, and he controls both 1 and 2. Am I right? People start running. All the IAS officers, the doctors behind the ministers when he is getting into the car. Last, but not the least, they have not passed any exam. They join the underworld and become a don. All the upper first, second, third class report to him. I stopped with this. One of my very good, very jovial teachers said, there's one more. Sir, I don't know. He got up, said, there's one more class who has not entered school, and these are the God-man, Swamis. All these 4 are going behind them. So this is the reality in our country. So why get yourself stressed to get your son passed in first BBS or IITMI? So, ladies and gentlemen, there's such more also, but I thought today, the biggest problem is, I wanted to just show one slide, that slide alone, and teach your children some human values. A postman rang the bell, and you know, all the postmans are in a hurry. He was ringing and she didn't open the door, or he didn't open the door. He waited for 5-10 minutes. Then a lady came and he was furious. He was shouting. And when she opened the door, he found it was sad. She did not have a feet. Both the feet were not there by birth. So she had to crawl and open the door. This has got nothing to do with that. So he felt very sad. I'm sorry, I didn't know. He also said, you rang the bell, but I had to come all the way crawling to open the door. This happened. The postman came often. He gave the letter, so they became friends. On a Diwali day, he said, uncle, please wait. I got a gift for you. And she gave him a pair of chappals to the postman. The postman was surprised, stunned, because no one had realized that he was walking barefoot, the postman. She could see it because she is crawling. So she prepared and gave him a good chapel. This postman was almost in tears. He came to his office and said, please transfer me to another place, some other street. I don't want to go to that street and see that girl again. Why? Because she has given me a chapel. I am not in a position to give her a feet. So please excuse me, I don't want to see her again. So this sort of passion, sympathy, empathy is what we need. If you could probably do this, I'm sure, with every patient, think that they are also suffering, we also may suffer at some time or the other. I'm sure we'll be making a difference. This is one slide. I wanted to get another slide which I showed long back, I couldn't trace it. It's a beautiful day, please go play outside. And he's going and playing outside, so it's the same video game. So this video game is one. Number two, please see this. If you can read Tamil, you read it. This is one which is closing the eyes, Mahatma Gandhi's famous pictures. One is closing the ear, third is closing the mouth. The person with using the mobile phone combines all the three, because he doesn't know anything. He doesn't see the face, he doesn't read the book. There's no, only thing he reads is Facebook. So please, when you sit, you at least tell your children, at least for one dinner or supper, let us sit together and talk. Keep all your phone outside. Parents, my grandchild, 6 years, I have to go and ask her to adjust my phone. So this is the state of affairs. So I think we shall pass through this world but once. Whatever little good we can do, we shall do it now, for we will not pass through this world again. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, sir. I invite Dr. R. Ravi to deliver the vote of thanks.
Dear colleagues, good evening. In the words of Albert Pine, what we do for the others and the world remains and is immortal. The success of today rests on the tireless hours of work and meticulous planning and support of many. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us, said Albert Caesar. For me, as for many others, it was Dr. Bala who lit the spark of progress and innovation. He told me that we had to have the next conference in Trichy way back in 2021 at Thoothukudi. Delayed and deferred by COVID and circumstances, we have gathered here today finally with him as a guiding light to our journey. Rome was not built in a day. I am grateful for the industrious efforts and hours of brainstorming from the office bearers of Indian Society of Gastroenterology, Tamil Nadu chapter, our patron, Dr. K.R. Palanichami, President, Dr. L. Venkatakrishnan, Secretary, Dr. Ubaldas, Treasurer, Dr. K. Prem Kumar. They were ready with their time and support whenever required. We thank our chief guest, Dr. M.S. Ashraf. He was my teacher, guide, mentor, well-wisher and my neighbor for more than 40-50 years, who readily accepted our invitation and has graced this occasion with his esteemed presence. We thank our faculty, national and from Tamil Nadu, for accepting our invitation and sharing our knowledge and expertise with us. Today's experience is much richer for you with your presence. We thank the members of Indian Society of Gastroenterology for their enthusiastic and active participation. We thank the postgraduates for joining us and lending us to a breath of fresh air. Hope you have learned as much from us as we have learned from you. We thank the management and staff of Courtyard by Marriott for the exceptional service and organization and the attention to detail that has made us feel quite at home and a part of the family. I thank management and staff of Hotel Ramya's and Hotel Gardenia for the first-class accommodation and service. We are grateful to Julius and the seamless audiovisual arrangements and with that have enhanced today's presentations to the next level. We thank members of the Chola Videos for their excellent coverages of the event. Our gratitude to the pharmaceutical companies. Without their support, the whole function is not possible. With special mention, I have to mention few who have done a lot of job for us. It started with invitation, Mr. Manivanan of Delvis, Shankar and Prince of Torrent, who has transported everyone from the station, airport to the hotel, and Mr. Balamurugan of Gutford. And we are going to have another service, Dayananda for Laya, for their unflagging support in the organizing this event. Our sincere gratitude to the pharmaceutical companies for organizing the hands-on training workshop for the postgraduates. I also thank Makappa and Vijay TV members who are going to entertain us in another half an hour. This is just the end of the beginning of a time of sharing our knowledge and exchange of our ideas. Hope this day's but spark that lights the journey of knowledge this year, as we hope to meet you all again in other such enclaves. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Please stay because there is going to be a book release. I request Professor ARV to come over the dais. The book was written by Professor ARV, and it is our privilege to release the book on this dais, and request.
I thank this opportunity. Way back in 2019, Hooty, Professor T.S. Chandrasekhar gave the idea of GA pathology. Because of the corona, everything, I could not do much. Thanks to our patron, Professor K.R. Palisamy, and our late Bala sir, and Prem and Upal, and all the friends, we were able to do some small start. I wanted to do in a bigger scale, but unfortunately, because of the time and money constraints, I cannot do in an Underwood style. I like to always present a book like Underwood Pathology, a schematic diagram. But now you took a madam was kind enough. All the credit should go to Professor Chandramouli Sri, Professor of Pathology, IOG at EGO. And I was only a collector. I am only editor, collector. I have collected about 108 slides, most of them from our own colleges and private collections. Some I borrowed from my friends. This is a starting. I just only put 5 to 6 books print out. With it came out after 3 or 4 editions. We had to make 4. The color was not good. The printing was not there. The modulations were not there. There are a lot of spelling mistakes. Everything corrected. And I always thank the Tamil Nadu ISC team as well as the Tamil Nadu Education Gastronomic Trust, which was gave the impetus to do the work. It took me 3.5 months. So many corrections with the printers. They say today they'll ready. No, 2 or 3 days, 4 days. I took the photographs from the madam quickly, but when I go to the printing and actual implementation, it took longer of time. I don't want to say more words. Such a presence of IHC members of the National Society and our own IHC members, as being a past president of IHC Tamil Nadu chapter 2018, it's a privilege for me to present the small GI liver pathology booklet. It's an eye-opener. This is not the end. This is only a beginning. If I get a chance to do it on a bigger scale, definitely I will go. As Professor Ashraf said, the word comes in 60 to 70. I am starting at 60. I will do more in 70 also. Thank you very much, sir.
So good evening. It's a proud privilege to stand here in front of the esteemed audience like you people and just release the book which was initiated by Dr. Venkateswaran sir. When he came into my room actually asking for pictures from histopathology, I was hard pressed for time like any other government official in any other government medical college. So just for his sake I started the work, and as he rightly said, it is only the beginning. So the collection, postgraduate slide collection which I had was used for making this book as such. So definitely if there is a chance, if God is willing, definitely there will be a lot of improvisations later. So that is all I wanted to say. Thanks for all the help.
only this got the permission. Without permission, I am always basically eccentric character. Everybody say elder. Now our very elder, the gloves, elder gloves. So a small, everybody, only one line, 1 minute. Everybody knows about 6 abodes of Lord Muruga. Panja, 6 words of Arubadi Veedu for Muruga. But anybody does, how many people know about Arubadi Veedu of Vinayaga? The great Vinayaga, 6 houses. I am just releasing a small or card which contains the 6 things in a foldable folder.
I kindly request all to raise for the national anthem.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Please assemble in 15-20 minutes because again Chenduran's dream and desire to have a good entertainment. We should not have only a scientific content and please join us in 20 minutes for a cultural feast.